Is calling 2022 CR 5498W, State of Texas versus Josue Carvajal. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Efrain Torres Jr. for Mr. Jose Carvajal.
And are you Mr. Jose Carvajal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Carvajal, I'm going to show you a document entitled Waiver Indictment Reading of Information and Rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're giving up certain rights, namely the right to have a grand jury hear this case and make a decision on whether or not to indict? Did you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You're also giving up certain rights that your attorney has, and these are those rights. Your attorney has a right for the passage of 2 days once he's presented with the information. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand by entering this plea, you're giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And your attorney has the right to have 10 days to prepare for trial. Do you understand you're giving up that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment reading of information and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure before a term of 2 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 100 hours of community service restitution, CATS 1 and 2, MRT, and forfeit and destroy any seized weapons. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense as charged in the information, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, ma'am.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Yes, state offer states Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, for review of the state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We would, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, Mr. Carvajal is still very young, Judge. He does understand the gravity of these issues and cases that are before you, Judge. And he.
All right, could everyone please whisper? The court reporter can't take down the record. Yes.
Judge, like I mentioned, he's very young, Judge. He's thankful to have an opportunity to keep this off his record, especially at such a young age, Judge. He does understand that these were serious cases and he's willing to take responsibility moving forward, Judge.
All right, how old are you?
18.
Did you graduate from high school?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
I had my parents divorced and I had too many conflict with the little kids at school.
How far did you go in school?
Only 9th grade.
So what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Just keep on with my business that I have going on right now.
What business is that?
My business is I have a food truck with my dad.
So really what it is your father has a food truck business. You're just providing labor.
Yes, sir.
So if something were to happen to your father, hopefully it doesn't, what would you be doing with your life? Because really, there are some people, I know a lot of actors, not personally, but I've heard their stories where they didn't graduate from high school. Now they making billions and millions of dollars. I know a lot of people who are chefs. They didn't graduate from high school and now they're making millions of dollars, but that's few and far between. So if something were to happen to your father, what are you going to be doing with your life? Because you may not be able to run a food truck.
Well, I will keep on doing what he's doing. Taking over his business.
All right, do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
All right, do you know how to cook?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you cook? What's your specialty of the food truck?
Asada, pastor, carnitas.
All right, you're gonna need to spell that for Brenna. So how do you spell that?
Asada. It's just like the meats.
How do you spell it?
Asada.
A-S-A.
A-S-A.
D-A.
D-O? Oh, okay, is it any good?
Yes.
Should I be trying this?
Yes.
But so what do you put in it?
Say that again?
I mean, what do you put in it? What's the ingredient? I don't want you to give any of your secret ingredients, but why should I come to your food truck and have that as opposed to somebody else's food truck? Why shouldn't I just go to, well, I'm not gonna mention the chicken name, but why should I go to another place and have a nice meal? What's special about your food? Here's the thing, part of having a food truck, you got to be able to sell it. You should be able to tell me, hey, you know what? This is the closest thing to heaven you're ever going to get. Although that would be bad news for me, because then you're telling me I'm not going to heaven. But you should say it's a slice of heaven. And you should tell me, even though it's 102 degrees in San Antonio, this will make you feel like you're still in the most beautiful of places. You need to be able to sell that. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
I will come out positive, but my lawyer told me to stop doing drugs.
Thank you very much. Sometimes I see attorneys where someone is getting probation. Sometimes you got to be as you know, attorney, counselor,
Sure.
parent, all of that. So I appreciate you telling that. So you got to stop using marijuana, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if there is some reason that you can't stop using marijuana, let probation know. My goal when people are placed on probation is for them to be successful. I really take no pleasure or joy in having to send people to prison, but I will if you're not doing what you're supposed to be. So if you need help with anything, let probation know. You know, if, hey, I'm about to smoke marijuana, I can't stop or something, let probation know and we'll see what we can do. But don't be dishonest, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And thank you for not having children yet. Get your life in order before you bring children into it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
There's not a baby on the way, is there?
No, not at all.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. There's an $800 fine. That will be probated. 2 years deferred adjudication. Taking consideration the following cases, night mag number 595513, 594414, 595511, County Court Cause number 652199, 652200, restitution and no contact with Heitzel and Jair Ortiz.
Yes, ma'am.
There's 100 hours of community service restitution. The court will waive 40 of those hours if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. That includes the booster. I'm not requiring anyone to do it, but if you do it, you will receive credit for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you going to obtain your GED or some sort of trade school? There are plenty of, I think, where you can get something in culinary school or something, or either some type of business to help you learn the ins and outs of how to make your dad's business better, okay? Whenever you're involved in a business, you need to try to make yourself indispensable, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And once you complete either the GED or trade school or some kind of business council, the remaining of the community service hours will be waived.
Thank you, Judge.
They want you to take CATs 1 and 2. I don't know why people need CATs 1 and 2. How long is that course?
I'm gonna have to check.
It's more than 2 minutes though, right?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna give you CATs 1 and 2 because I've given you a lot on your plate. Here's CATs 1 and 2 for you. Don't steal. Don't take what doesn't belong to you. You understand that? If it doesn't belong to you, don't take it. I don't care if it's a pen. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Definitely don't take a car. It doesn't belong to you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
That person's car that you took, you smoking marijuana in that car, guess what? That car would never be the same. I don't care if they get it detailed, get it steamed. That marijuana scent is gonna be in that car, in the carpet. And then people don't like other people driving their cars. I know I don't, okay? So I'm gonna do the MRT, forfeit and destroy weapons. And who is this person you were in the car with? Lucio Ringhouse?
I'm no longer his friend.
All right, you're not, because it's gonna be no contact. So there's to be no contact with Lucio Rangel. There's to be regular reporting in person or by Zoom. Proof of employment within 30 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Field visits 1 time per month for 6 months, and probation, that's only if there's no problem. If there's a problem, then it will be continued. I'm gonna want him tested for levels. All right, is there anything else he needs probation?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Carvajal, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, no.
All right, they're gonna make sure you get tested for levels. Do you understand? And let me tell you something right now. Anybody who is your friend would have told you, let's not do this. You understand? Anybody who participates in your foolishness when they know you're doing wrong, that's not your friend. Because a friend would have told you we should not be doing this. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, just a quick question. Do you know when he will be tested for levels? Only issue is his mom is going through cancer therapy right now, and he's the only one who can take her to the appointment. And I think that's gonna be at what time, noon?
It's I have to take it 3 different days. It's the
But today.
today it's at 11.
All right, so probation, just make note and let probation know, this is where communication is key. Let probation know the times you have to take your mother for her treatment, and they will work with you on that. Counsel, if there's an issue with that, just let the court know.
Will do, Judge.
Thank
All
you.
right, you're welcome. I'm gonna show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have a court permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Stay out of trouble. Do better.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, court is calling 2022 CR 5498W, State of Texas versus Josue Carvajal. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state
Marcus Sanders.
defense?
Robert Mauer for defendant, Your Honor.
And are you Josue Carvajal?
Yes, ma'am. I am.
All right, I'm sure you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, and state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke probation. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes.
Are you the same Josue Carvajal who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 5498W for the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle on June 7, 2022 for a period of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
And just go forward on the motion to supplement. Condition number 4, in Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Josue Carvajal did in there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the month of September 2022 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead that to that? True or not true?
True.
We'll waive the others.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4? Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there an agreement?
There's Judge, we're asking that you deny the motion, alternative to order safety, but hold it in abeyance. We're also asking that you order intensive outpatient treatment and a GPS for 90 days.
And Judge, on that GPS, he owns a food truck. So I'd ask the court if, I'm not sure if probation supervises the same as pretrial, just that he'd be allowed to operate his food truck.
All right. And Mr. Carvajal, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Why are you not reporting?
I just had a lot of stuff going on, and at the same, I couldn't. I didn't make it on time, and I always had failed to report.
All right, if I drug test you today, what are the results
Yeah.
going to be?
You did. It was positive.
Okay.
There was no levels. He said he hasn't smoked in a while. I was hopeful the court would, I think we talked about doing weekly UAs just so we can keep checking his levels. I had a long talk with Mr. Carvajal.
Oh, so people knew to test him before he even came here, or I requested. I appreciate
I
that.
think the parties saw the writing on the wall.
And Judge, I'm sorry, I missed part of the agreement. It was 90 days GPS with 90 days weekly UAs on the call line.
Okay. And can he afford GPS?
Probably not. I am retained. I would say I'm partially retained, Judge. If the court could give him some consideration on the fees for GPS, I'd appreciate it.
might have heard of your food truck. What are you serving?
I go to different routes actually. I go to like construction sites and it's just different places. I don't stay in one spot.
What kind of food?
What do you serve?
I sell tacos, plates, burgers. And I have the little side where it's like a little mini truck.
All right. And you pronounce tacos appropriate, with the accent on it. So I know they're probably good tacos.
Oh yes, ma'am. They
Oh, they are. Yeah.
Wow.
How much are your tacos?
$3 each and plates are 10. And then we have
The
snacks.
tacos you get for $3.
Masada, pastor, y carnitas.
See, look at that.
Oh, help me with that.
It doesn't gouge the consumer.
Okay. All right. This is what the court will do. The court is, because if he's working on his food truck, if you do the UA hotline, I mean, who else is working in the truck with you?
There's actually it's 4 trucks. My dad owns a big one, like the big old one, and then we have 3 small ones, like little trucks.
Yeah. So my thing is yes.
We have had it, if Your Honor would agree, is if you do ask, or the IVR hotline asks for them to go ahead and submit, that you give them 24 hours and then they go within that 24 hours.
Okay, we can do that. All right. So this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to do the UA hotline until further notice. And we'll do field visits 1 time per month. And probation, is it easier for probation if that coincides with his reporting or no? Because
Yes.
all right. So we're going to do field visits 1 time per month. And we'll do regular reporting by Zoom or in person. In probation, if you want that regular reporting to count for the field visit, it can. And if there is another positive UA, which there should not be, then I'm going to want 90 sober meetings in 90 days. And do we need an updated TAP?
Your Honor, I would say we need a TAP period.
All right. And then we'll do a TAP evaluation. And we'll do that so we can have it on record. If for any reason he tests positive and the TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with outpatient treatment.
Judge, on that, I guess I'd ask the court to check his levels. As long as the levels are going down and we can see he's not using as opposed to
Yes.
a high THC in his body. I just don't want him to get revoked if he's quit smoking, his levels are going down.
Okay.
So UA hotline weekly to test levels. Once a negative baseline is obtained, then
Then if there's a positive that comes after the negative, then we have issues.
Yep.
This one.
And nobody wants you serving their food if you've been using marijuana.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else from either side?
No, ma'am.
All right. Know better, do better. All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Good morning. Good afternoon. Yeah. But the good thing about it, it's afternoon, but it's still Friday's Eve.
There you go. Yeah. Friday Junior.
Yeah. All right. Probation told me they had spoken with your attorney and probation spoke with me. And my understanding is they've had a chance to speak with the prosecutor. And so there may have been some miscommunication. So my understanding is that the state is going to request that the motion be withdrawn. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
So on this case, I understand there was some miscommunication, but you're going to be given new conditions. You need to sign those. So there will not be any miscommunication after today. You understand? So from here on out, everything you do, you need to ask yourself 2 questions. You know what those questions are? First question, any action you take, you need to ask yourself, because this potentially result in me going to the state jail facility for 2 years. If the answer is yes, you don't do it. Next question, is this something that maybe will result in me going to the state jail facility for 2 years? If the answer to that question is yes or maybe, don't do it. You understand? If you have any questions about anything or if there's some confusion, you can always come back to court. If you have an issue, let probation know. If you feel that probation is not addressing it, then you can come in and address it with me. You understand? Do you have any questions about anything? All right, good luck to you. And they told me your UA was good.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's when my daughter was born. So
I made a little bit of changes. If I wanted to keep my family, I have to make changes with myself before I do anything else. So
That's good. I appreciate that. You know, I always tell parents, if you have no intention of being a parent, that your child would be proud to say, this is my dad, this is my mom, then don't cause chaos in their life. Just let them be on their own. Send your child support, but just let them live their life. You understand? So I'm glad that you've made changes.
take care of 3 kids, so it ain't easy, but
But it's joyful.
yeah.
And how old are the 3 children?
One was just this 15 of this month. Should turn 3 next month. He's about to be 2 on the 23rd, and I got my recent one of 4 months.
Oh, that's awesome. When you have little bitty babies that size, it's
No sleep.
always great because it's no sleep, but it's no sleep for good reasons. You never want the sleep to be because you told your child to be in at 9 and now it's 9:05 and they're not there yet. So it's a good thing. All right. Good luck to you. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excuse your honor. after this
Yes.
demo.
After you sign the conditions and make sure there are no miscommunications. All right. Good morning. Are y'all prepared to proceed on the motion to revoke?
Yeah.
All right. Court is calling 2022 CR 5498W, State of Texas versus Josue Carvajal. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Efrain Torres Jr. for Mr. Carvajal.
And are you Mr. Carvajal?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke probation with your attorney? And did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Are you the same Josue Carvajal who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 5498W for the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle on June 7th, 2022 for a period of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes, Your Honor. On the supplemental motion, Your Honor, violated conviction number 4 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant, Jose Carvajal, did that in there, failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of March 2024 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Your Honor.
Your Honor, will waive any violated condition.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor. And that is to grant the motion and revoke the individual from his probation to sentence him to 180 days in the Bear County, in the state jail facility.
All right. Counsel, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Please.
So what has he done on probation?
Judge, I believe he's completed his IOP. I also believe he's paid about $1,000 towards his fees, Judge. The rest of it was not able to be complete, Judge. I believe Mr. Carvajal can explain it to you if you wish.
All right. Do you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Josue Carvajal Isaiah.
Why didn't you report in March?
I did not report in March because I was having, honestly, there's family, basically my grandfather was dying. He was gonna be no longer here, and I wasn't there with my father, and it was just too much for me. I couldn't come in.
Oh, did you pick up the phone and call probation and said, my grandfather is dying, I can't come in?
Yes, ma'am, I did. And
Oh, wait a minute.
I
Do
let
we
them
have
know.
proof of this? Miss Abrams? He said he called probation and said he can't come in, his grandfather is dying.
Judge, I'd have to take a moment to review all of the photos.
All right. So you're saying you called them?
Did you call him or you left the voice?
I left the voicemail.
Oh, okay. So they should have a voicemail if you left it. And is there anything else you wish to say?
And as well, I became a father at a very young age, ma'am. I just wanted to get this out of there. I became a father at a very young age. I have children of 1, 2, and 3-year-olds. and they have been, basically they've been my main priority, and I know it as well, probation had to be one of my main priorities, but I couldn't balance both out. So I felt deeply at completing my probation.
Okay, so you have a 1, 2, and 3-year-old. That's what you're telling me.
Yes,
And how old are you?
20, ma'am.
All right, so why would you're 20 years old, you have a criminal case for unauthorized use of a vehicle. At some point in time, you continue to have children, even though you were on probation. Why are you doing this to your children?
Well, I have taken them onto my wing, and one of them is mine.
So there's a mother out there who wants you to take her 2 children under your wing, knowing that you have criminal history.
Yes, ma'am.
And then she has a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. Are the 2-year-old and 3-year-old your biological children?
No, ma'am.
All right, so she has a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, and then she decides to choose you to have another child. So now you all have a 1, 2, and 3-year-old in the house. I don't understand why people are making these, what appears to be horrendous decisions. Children are a blessing, but children are expensive.
Yes.
And probation is looking to see if you actually called. Because this is not your first time before the court on a motion to revoke.
Correct, Judge.
And so I'm just trying to figure out whether or not I'm going to give you what you're asking for or going to give you something more.
There was a telephone call stated that he had COVID and he wanted to reschedule. That was on March 18th.
Judge, I believe that was a mixture of both. I think his grandfather was already ill and passing away, and he was also ill himself.
Yeah, he didn't say that. When I questioned him, he didn't tell me that. If I'm wrong, let me know. But when I asked him what the issue was, he said his grandfather was passing,
Yes.
and he said he left a telephone message with probation saying that his grandfather was passing. That was what he told me what was going on in his life. Is there something that I did not hear?
No, I'm sorry, Judge, and you're correct. It's just that when we were having our conversations there, we did go over that, Judge, and he did mention that, Judge. I'm sure Josue is nervous, Judge. He understands the punishment that you can potentially give him. He's never been to the state jail facility. He's never even been to a prison. He's 20. I'm sure he's nervous, Judge. But nevertheless, he did tell you he did call. He was on the record, Judge, and that is accurate.
All right, so his previous criminal history,
Yes, Judge.
it's always dismiss, defendant convicted of other, dismiss, defendant convicted of other. And that's the harboring a runaway from
Correct.
County Court 8, dismiss, defendant convicted of other. Theft of a firearm, dismiss, defendant convicted of other. Another theft of a firearm, which I'm assuming occurred at the same time based upon the cause number, dismiss, defendant convicted of another. County Court 8, unlawfully carrying a weapon, defendant dismissed, defendant convicted of other.
Correct, Judge.
Possession case, dismiss, defendant convicted of other. Then he had the evading arrest or detention. He was sentenced, probation revoked. And then the possession of marijuana, dismissed, defendant convicted of other. So it doesn't appear that he's learning anything.
Well, Judge, I think all those cases, I think either they were all within an incident or within a time frame, Judge.
Yeah.
But since he's been placed on probation, Judge, which was about 2 years ago, he has not picked up any new number ones,
Mhm.
Judge. He's had difficulty balancing probation, as you mentioned. He obviously took on other responsibilities that maybe he shouldn't have, but he hasn't picked up any new charges, Judge. He hasn't been out there causing problems to the community, maybe doing damage to himself by not obviously following the conditions that he was required to do. But nevertheless, Judge, he's not out there picking up new charges. As I had also represented him back then, told him, hey, you cannot be doing this. You're too young for this. You had also warned him as well when he first got on probation, Judge. So I know it's been a challenge for him, but he's eager to get this behind him, Judge, and take responsibility. And he is aware that you can punish him. Up to the max, which is 2 years, Judge. We hope that that's not the case. But nevertheless, Judge, what he's told you here today, like you mentioned, the phone call, it did occur. And I know it's not reflective of the type of person he is on the MTR that you have in front of you, Judge, but we're hoping that you would consider following the recommendation and allowing him just to try to move forward.
Did you obtain your GED?
No, ma'am, I'm actually trying to get it right now.
No. You've been on probation with the court for 2 years. Well, minus 3 days. Did you obtain your GED?
No, Your Honor.
Did you obtain a certificate from a trade school?
No, Your Honor.
Did you complete the MRT program?
No, Your Honor.
So basically, you haven't done anything. You didn't really report all the time you were supposed to report. The drug testing levels haven't been the best. It's riddled with failures to submit positive. And then you would have 3 months of negative. Then you come back with dilute, fail to call, fail to submit, dilute. And then you'd have some negatives. Then again, it would be fail to call, fail to submit, fail to call. This is where we are, and this is what I will do. You have a choice. Here are your choices. I'll send you to the state jail facility for 18 months, or either you can stay on probation and complete this probation, and you're going to be extended for 2 more years. And I will tell you, the only reason why I'm considering extending it for 2 years is because somebody has thought that you're a great catch. You now have a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, and 3-year-old that somebody decided that you would be the perfect father. So those are your choices: 18 months in the state jail facility, or either you're going to be extended for 2 years on this probation. All right, court is going to deny the motion. Alter and amend conditions. Extend for 2 years. There's going to be the UA hotline.
Your Honor, if I may I have the sweat patch again?
No. Here's the thing. You were looking at going to the state jail facility, potentially for 2 years. We can go off the record. I don't know what's happening with society, what we're in. There used to be a saying that beggars can't be choosers. Now everybody who's begging want to choose. If somebody is standing on the corner and they're trying to get money from you because, oh, I'm out of work or this is happening, and you want to give them $2. Well, that's not enough. If you want to offer somebody food, well, you know what? Thank you so much for the chicken, but I prefer steak and lobster. You were looking at going to the state jail facility because you've done horrible on probation, and now you're trying to tell me what you prefer. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, we can go back on the record. It's going to be the UA hotline until further notice. You need to get employment. So is the mother of these 3 children working?
Yes, she's actually running the business that I have right now.
Running what business?
She's working with my father.
And what does your father do?
He sells tacos.
Sells tacos?
Yes, ma'am.
And who watches the children?
My mother.
People just out here having children and wanting their grandparents, the children's grandparents, to be mothers and fathers. They're not supposed to be doing that. Here's the thing. When you have a child, guess what? You're supposed to be figuring out what daycare is going to be, how much that's going to cost. It shouldn't be built in. Oh, my grandparents will watch the children. That's what y'all are supposed to be doing. Instead, y'all are playing house out here, just having a bunch of children. I can't even imagine taking care of a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old. The 1-year-old is in diapers. The 2-year-old is most likely in diapers. And since you all are not being good parents, the 3-year-old is probably in diapers, and nobody's talking to the children to educate them. They're just running around doing whatever. And then they end up going to preschool maybe, or going to school, and nobody has taught them anything. And they go to school and they want the teachers to be a parent to the children, which they're not supposed to be. Newsflash, teachers are just supposed to be educating your children. They're not supposed to be at the school teaching them values. That's supposed to be your job. And neither you or the mother are doing any of that. Y'all are just laying around having a bunch of children and passing it on to the grandparents. And you're going to get a job, and it's not going to be selling tacos, because there are only so many tacos that you can sell in San Antonio. Everybody here has a taco stand. And unless you're bringing something unique with your tacos, nobody's going to try to find you or find your parents and say, let me get tacos from this person. You understand? And are you all living on government housing?
No, we are.
All right, that's a good thing. All right, so there's to be a hotline until further notice. You are either going to get your GED or you're going to get a certificate for some type of trade school. Welding is great. Being a plumber is great. So you can do any of those things. Go look it up. They have it at St. Philip's. They have it everywhere. Find you a lucrative trade, because guess what? If the 1, 2, and 3-year-old decide to go to college, prices when they get ready to go to college is going to be outrageous. You're looking at a mortgage. For that 1-year-old, it's probably going to be $200,000 to send them to college. And all of this thing where you're just going to undergrad, where you're just getting your BA, that is not even enough anymore. Just getting your master's is not enough anymore. You understand? So GED or trade school. And we're going to restart intensive outpatient treatment with probation. And there's going to be 120 sober support meetings in 120 days, parenting classes. And once he completes parenting classes, 100 hours of community service will be deemed satisfied. And once he obtains his GED or some sort of trade school certificate, 100 hours will be deemed satisfied. And the court is ordering 200 hours of community service restitution. So once you complete all of those things, then it will be deemed satisfied. And I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month for 4 months. And then thereafter at probation's discretion. And please tell probation to check on the children. Probation, is there anything else?
Already, that is $200.
Yes. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
God bless you.
Have a speak.
Let's get the facts straight. She loves a verbal ashtray. Never blowing smoke when she gets pissed. She's quick to castrate. Love her on a good day, love her on a bad day. Either way, she's here to stay, stay, stay.